In my role municipally, mayor for the last 10 years, I have always resisted, I guess, the motivation to endorse any provincial or federal candidate. In my role, we work with who we have. For a while, we had Randy Hillier. We didn't work with Randy. There was no working with Randy. There was no, if you had a provincial delegation after lunch, you don't take Randy because Randy's had the 3-beer lunch. But these are extraordinary times. And I think extraordinary times require extraordinary people. Michelle is one of those extraordinary people. And Mark Carney is one of those extraordinary people. And it's time that we have leaders who speak about unity and pulling the country together. Right in here tonight, we have a leader who has pulled two parties together, even as drawn from the Conservatives, of course, and formed a coalition of people who are unified and trying to create a better future, not just for this riding, but our country, in really what is exceptional times. Like, we don't know what threats we're facing. We're going to be with a requirement to probably remanufacture our economy. We need to be resistant to what's happening down south and stand together, stand strong, and create a better future for all of our children and grandchildren and those to come. And it takes times like this that we need to step out of our comfort zone and say, we have to work hard, we have to do what it takes, because probably in my history, in my role, I don't think there's been a time when we've had a true possibility of breaking through a barrier in Blue Lanark County. And I'm wearing purple tonight on purpose. That's part of the transition from blue to red. and so I had the privilege of first meeting Michelle about 4 years ago. And she reached out and said, can I meet you? Can we chat? And it was just toward the tail end of the pandemic. And she didn't come to tell me who she was, and what she stood for, and how she was going to be the best. She came to listen. She came to try to understand what are the issues that I'm facing in my community, my citizens are facing. And I can say in 10 years with MP Reid, he's never reached out to see how things are going in Smiths Falls. He's never asked the question, what can I do for you? And he has been there for some photo ops, yes. When the Hershey announcement came out last summer, they were buying the old canopy plant, or buying back the canopy plant. He was there, yes. I was throwing out chocolate bars in the town square, Hershey bars, of course. And Scott was there and was able to say a few words. The other time I've had, I guess, an interaction with him was in 2018. Scott and I were part of a delegation to Capitol Hill, actually, in Washington on behalf of Canopy Growth, trying to help convince U.S. congressmen and senators to consider the legalization of cannabis. So that was about that's my limited involvement with Scott over the years. And it is time for change. I mean, Scott is, I think, a very intelligent man. I don't think he shares the values of the people in this room, doesn't share my values. And there's times in the past I have voted conservative. I voted for Bob Ray in 1990, I think, believe it or not. But, so I'm all over the map. But the values I've learned and shaped over my 10 years as mayor help me understand that the needs of my community are dependent on a liberal government. They're dependent on a liberal MP and a liberal majority. Because without the majority, we're not going to get the power we need to stand up to the threat from the south. So, go Michelle. Elbows up, right? Thank you.